Be still my virgin eyes. I mean, is this what happens nowadays and passes as entertainment for kids? 5 Massachusetts college students have been arraigned today on kidnapping charges in connection to, yes, you read that correctly, to catch a predator. Why is this trending? Hello, 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 and welcome to Alexasrewm, where we are not lawyers, we are not medical professionals, and we are not law enforcement. We are just people. People who have opinions. A lot of opinions about this one, folks. Opinions about all things going on in the true crime community, including this story that broke earlier today. I actually first came across it from Turtle Boy. He posted an article about that. So we're going to go back and forth between the Boston 25 coverage because I got a little video clip here and the article that he wrote up earlier today. So if you haven't read it through, I will link it in my description box below. If you want to read it ad free, I think it's only $15 a month, and you're supporting local news and journalism. So make sure you go ahead and do that and support Turtle Boy and all his endeavors. I mean, again, be still my virgin eyes, right? I mean, back when I was 18, 19, after, I mean, of course, I dropped out of school after like my second semester. I didn't even make a full year of college. I was dancing. I was a dancer in a club. And that I grew up real fast. So I can't even imagine. And that wasn't even that long ago. I mean, that was 10 years ago, but I guess long enough where TikTok was really just starting to become a thing. And people were hopping on dance trends, dropping it like it's hot, not trying to entrap people and assault them for entertainment purposes. And of course, everybody wants to spin it on, and blame it on something, right? True crime and how trendy true crime is. And I think that's just completely misguided. So let's let's see what this is all about, shall we?
Judge this morning, accused of luring a man on campus as part of an online challenge. Investigators say that To Catch a Predator challenge ended with the students facing kidnapping and conspiracy charges. Boston 25 News reporter Ryan Breslin is on scene outside Worcester District Court with the details. Ryan?
Ray, that's right. All 5 Assumption University students, they had to go in front of a judge today at Worcester District Court. All 5 pleaded not guilty to the charges against them, and they are due back in court on March 28th for a pre-trial hearing. Now, we did see some of those defendants leaving the courthouse today. After that hearing, they did not comment on the charges. Police say this appears to be a social media challenge that got out of control. Investigators say the 5 students used the Tinder account of an 18-year-old female student and tricked a man into meeting up with her on campus. On October 1st, the man met up with the female student in a reception area inside of Alumni Hall. Police say there was a large group of mostly male students hiding there. They allegedly came out of hiding and confronted the victim and restrained him. That victim got away, but he was chased by that group. Someone punched him in the back of the head. Then out in the parking lot, somebody slammed his car door on him as he tried to get away. After reviewing video, Assumption police allege the entire incident was a premeditated setup to lead the victim on campus to seize, confine, or kidnap this person. In a statement, Assumption University said in part, quote, "The behavior described in the court filing is abhorrent. This incident highlights the very real harm that social media can inflict when it promotes dangerous and irresponsible behavior." Now,
Well, but here's the thing, folks. Everybody wants to blame social media, right? It's not social media. Social media doesn't create trends. People create trends. People are the ones who are going out there and doing these vile, disgusting things. So let's keep it a buck there, because there are plenty of people out there, healthy, normal, functioning college age students who like to pass their time during their day in between classes going through TikTok and their TikTok feed, and not going out and trying to take the law into their own hands, whatever they think it might mean to them, and just for the sake of, I don't know, virality, right? Popularity. That means there's something literally sick going on in your head to do something like this. And I can't help but think of, what's going on right now with the Luigi Mangione case. in the sense of this is what happens when people try to, like I said, take the law into their own hands instead of the police to be the ones to do the policing. But that's just my opinion.
The victim lives out of state. He was said to be in Worcester for his grandmother's funeral when this happened. Those 5 defendants, they have been ordered to stay away and not make contact with that victim. One of the defendants has also filed a motion to dismiss for lack of probable cause. For now,
what? First of all, so sorry for your loss. Not that this unfortunate victim is watching this video necessarily, but my goodness, he was there for his grandma's funeral. And from my understanding and what I've read so far and what we're about to dive into, it seemed like he was just trying to connect with people of the same age as him, looking to connect with people and maybe, I don't know, cheer up his spirits because his grandma died. Like, how sick can you possibly be to do this to another human? And what grounds? Motion to dismiss what? When there's 25 people chasing one person and half of them are filming it. Like, kids these days, am I right? So let's dive into what Turtle Boy's got to say about this, because I'm sure he's got a whole lot, and he's the one who really brings the tea. 5 Assumption University students were arraigned earlier today on charges including kidnapping, witness intimidation, and we all know about the witness intimidation statute in Massachusetts, so that'll be really interesting. Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and conspiracy stemming from an incident in October involving a viral TikTok stunt. So a man by the name Brady Moynihan, I guess it's Moynihan, whose age and hometown is unknown, referring to the victim in this case, who lived out of state. He met a girl named Kelsey Brainerd on Tinder. Kelsey is an 18-year-old freshman at Assumption College. So here she is in all her glory. Her parents must be real proud of their daughter on this one. And it's like, this is like catfishing to a completely different level. Like, people are worried about matching with AI, or S workers as well too, and getting catfished like that. But now it's like, now you got to worry about all these other things too. I mean, I can't even imagine what dating is like now. Like, my wife and I, we met on an app, but that was, gosh, that was over 7 years ago at this point. Things were a lot different. This is how quickly things can change and evolve and progress over time. And at the time, I mean, I was, of course, nervous to meet her in person for the first time, not knowing, hey, are you going to actually be the person that I've been talking to? But now it's like, you got to worry about all these other things. Like, am I going to potentially walk into a situation where I'm going to be assaulted and mauled by a angry crowd of 18 and 19-year-olds on a college campus? Like, what is happening? So if you're not familiar, Tinder, it was supposed to be a dating app, but it's mainly like a hookup app for people to connect, and friends too. Sometimes you can meet up and connect with people on a friendly level. It seemed like this guy, whatever, not judging, maybe he was looking for a good night. Who cares? It doesn't matter why he was on the app. He wasn't the one who committed any crimes in this. Allegedly, from what we know so far, it seems like this is pretty straightforward here. According to Assumption University Police Sergeant Chris Shea's report, he was alerted by Worcester. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please excuse me. I am from Long Island, New York, so do not scream at me in the comments. I'm really trying, so apologies in advance. To an assault and battery that occurred on campus at Alumni Residential Hall. When he went to Alumni Hall, he met with Kelsey Brainerd, the chick that we showed earlier, who told him that Moynihan had come to campus looking to meet a 17-year-old girl, which is not true because last time I checked, people who are enrolled in college are above the age of or 18 or older, and that he was a predator who had initiated unsolicited contact with her on Tinder, and that he was creepy and came uninvited. And that would be very easily proved because you could just literally read the message exchange in the chat. And I mean, it's just so dim and so dumb. And thank God for dumb people, right? So this is from the police report. On Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, Assumption University Police Sergeant Christopher J. Shea was assigned to work the 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. uniform patrol shift. I was assigned to Unmarked Cruiser 3 on a campus-wide patrol sector. Upon reporting for duty, I reviewed the dispatch log for the previous 2 shift activities to determine what incidents required follow-up investigation, approval, or correction. I had received information regarding a disturbance at Alumni Hall where Res Life were requesting assistance. And subsequently, a report of an assault and battery was reported to the police department. Subsequent investigation revealed that the disturbance was the result of a Tinder app contact coming to campus to meet an Assumption student identified as Kelsey Brainerd. Miss Brainerd reported that a creepy guy came to campus looking to meet an underage girl, 17. And I'm just going to take a pause right here because, as somebody who has been a victim of violence at an early age as a minor, this is highly offensive to me, and I'm sure other people who are survivors. So don't do that. Don't make up crimes just because you want to be, I don't know, in the spotlight. Like, get over your problems, go to therapy, fix yourself, fix your brain, because something is not right in the space between your ears. It was reported to responding Res Life personnel that the male just came to campus made Kelsey Brainerd feel creepy, and she texted to a friend, Easton Randall, who came down to help Kelsey with the predator. The subject was subsequently chased off of campus by this male friend. Officers interviewed Kelsey Brainerd, who reported a predator on campus, and she reaffirmed the information she reported to Res Life personnel to be true. Miss Brainerd claimed to be a victim of this unsolicited contact with the subject on Tinder and that he just came here uninvited, and she was frightened by him being creepy. Now, I mean, of course, what could be true is maybe, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, right? You know, of course, we won't get the full story until this actually goes to trial, but there is a world where it could have been possible. He came, you know, it could have been consensual, and then she was like, yeah, you're giving me kind of creepy vibes, and now I'm not okay. Now I'm not consenting with your presence. I don't want you around me. You're giving the creeps. That could have very well have been true, but that's not what this sounds like here. And again, this is completely dangerous and reckless, and just deeply troubling and upsetting for actual people who are actual victims and actual survivors. And if you want attention, there's plenty of other ways to do it, sweetheart. I'm sorry, but this is not the way. Kelsey Brainerd's actual Tinder account profile was used, indicating she was an 18-year-old female. So, I mean, there you go. There you go, too. You indicated you were 18. I'm sure there were naturally somebody who's matching on your profile is going to assume you are 18. That being said, you could lie about your age, but if you're meeting on a college campus and you are a college enrolled student, putting 2 and 2 together without being a rocket scientist or a mathematician would lead one to believe that you are of the age of consent. Miss Brainerd reported the same account when interviewed by responding officers. Subsequent investigation was conducted to locate this predator, but resulted in negative contact with Hyman campus. As it turns out, all of it was a lie. Openly communicating with an 18-year-old Assumption University student on a dating app known for making connections, whether for hooking up or long-term romantic entanglements, it all comes down to how you use the app and what you're looking to get out of it, which is 100% true. Moynihan told the police that Kelsey Brainerd invited him to her dorm, which again, you would be easily able to find out by looking through their text thread, right, on the app. And once he went downstairs to a lounge area, a group of people, mostly college aged men, burst out of hiding places because that's not suspicious, grabbed him, prevented him from leaving, and ended up assaulting him and slamming his head with a car door once he finally escaped to his vehicle. Surveillance video backed up Moynihan's story and shows Brainerd escorting him into the building. It also showed the mob of students all filming on their phones. So again, I mean, there's just so much evidence. It seems like here, and it's just like again, thank God for useful idiot or thank God for idiots, right? Like kids nowadays, everything is so it's so disturbing too. It's like how many people will just stand there in front of like an attack, an assault, or a car accident or a building that's on fire where people are suffering and going through all these different tragedies and people just stand there and film. I mean, when did we all just completely disconnect from empathy and sympathy? And does anybody have a moral compass nowadays? I just don't know. And clearly they're not teaching that in schools because you get idiots like this doing this all day long. Officers received a report from Worcester police advising they were off with the male subject requiring assistance with an incident that took place on Assumption University property. Officers met with the subject, identified as Moynihan Brady. Mr. Moynihan reported that he was in Worcester to attend his grandma's funeral. So, I mean, it's just so heartbreaking. Like, just like kick the guy down while he's already down, right? And just wanted to be around people that were happy. Like that really hurts my heart. Like, it's how sweet and innocent does that sound? Now, whether or not it's true, I mean, this guy could be a total d-bag. I don't know him from Adam, right? But we know nothing about him. But I mean, if that's all true, I mean, how disgusting and revolting. And even if he is a D-bag, nobody deserves this to happen to them. Mr. Moynihan reported that he was communicating with this girl, Kelsey, on Tinder, and that they were going to try and hook up. Okay, so he was trying to be around people that made him feel happy, right? He reported that Brainerd invited him to come and meet her, specifically asking him to meet her at Alumni Hall next to the Kennedy building. He reported he was led into the building by Miss Brainerd and was only there for a few minutes when a group of people came out of nowhere and started calling him a PDF file and accusing that he liked having intimate interactions with underage girls. The subject reported that he was surrounded by the group, became fearful when he was unable to leave due to being grabbed and held back from leaving. The subject reported that he was able to break free and ran up the stairs, being chased by the group of 25 or more people. He reported he was chased to his car and was assaulted, punched in the back of the head, had his car door slammed on him, and his vehicle kicked by the pursuing group. The subject reports that he fled the campus and went to an area where he felt safe and called police. So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't really sound like a guilty party, right? Somebody who is being accused of all these disgusting, vile things, literally the worst thing you could be accused of doing or being, and he's the one who's calling police. A subsequent review of the surveillance equipment that is positioned with a field of view of the entrance to Alumni Hall and the hallway leading down to the lounge area was conducted. Officers observed surveillance footage which depicts Miss Brainerd escorting him into the building and down the stairs to the lounge area. Shortly thereafter, you can see Mr. Moynihan running up the stairs, followed by a large group of students. Like, I don't understand how many people were like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. Like, this is just, there wasn't one person in this group that was like, hey guys, this is a little effed up. Maybe we shouldn't go through with this. Like, there was no one out of a group of 25. I can't believe it. All with their cell phones out and what seems to be a recording of the whole episode because, yeah, we're doing it for the likes, man. Surveillance video goes to show the mob of students high-fiving each other because, yeah, mom and dad, aren't you proud of me? Look, this is what I'm learning in college. This is what I'm spending all your hard-earned dollars on. Disgusting. There is no way Kelsey couldn't have known this was going to happen. She was called out for being a fake victim in the police report. She's seen on video laughing during the encounter, in which the real victim is being struck in the back of the head, and didn't seem the least bit uncomfortable with Moynihan. False report of a offender on campus caused a sense of alarm at the quiet private university. I mean, like, I can imagine, like, there's probably actual survivors who are enrolled as students who are actually going through probably PTSD and all kinds of trauma. And it's like, great, okay, I've been assaulted in the past, and there's an active predator on campus. I feel totally safe. Based on the information reported, it was apparent that more had transpired than what was being reported. I conducted my own review of the surveillance footage. Miss Brainerd is seen exiting Alumni Hall and returning moments later with a male subject identified as Mr. Moynihan. Two walk down to the lounge area, and there's no further reported activity. A check of the surveillance footage timestamps indicates that on October 1st, 2024 at 10:33 p.m., Miss Brainerd ascends the staircase from the lounge area. Let's check her Apple Health data, right? And exits the front door. At 10:51 p.m., Miss Brainerd and the subject identified as Mr. Moynihan enter alumni through the front entranceway. The two walk down the staircase, going back down to the lounge area. There is no further activity until 10:08 p.m. when Mr. Moynihan is seen running up the staircase and trying to exit Alumni Hall. Mr. Moynihan is clearly trying to escape from the 25 to 30 people. 25 to 30 people, not one person in there. I cannot believe it. The crowd can clearly be seen utilizing cell phones to record the pursuit. The volume of students seen ascending the stairs in pursuit of Mr. Moynihan is in direct contradiction of the information provided by Miss Brainerd. It appears that the group chasing Mr. Moynihan was staged and are awaiting his arrival. The area from which the mob comes from is typically an underused area not frequented by large groups of students simultaneously. Like, did you have beer pong to play? Like, or like go to like a frat party or something. Like, I do pickleback shots. Like, literally do anything else but this exact thing. The interaction depicted in the footage occurs from start to finish in pretty much 2.5 minutes, and does not appear to be a random occurrence, but a deliberately staged event. Subsequent investigation revealed that there were first-person perspective videos being circulated amongst students. Upon obtaining this footage, it is determined that the report filed by Miss Brainerd was false and fabricated, and her victimization was fraudulently reported to mislead police into believing a predator was on campus, to conceal that the subject was lured to campus to be caught as a predator by a group of students lacking legal authority to do so, and just like any reason to do it, period. Like, this is just absolutely disgusting. The report of a offender on campus creates a heightened sense of alert due to the vulnerable student population. Exactly. The videos obtained show that the subject was escorted into the building, led to the basement lounge area, where they are viewed seated on a sofa with ample personal space between them, watching the baseball game. Miss Brainerd is seen laughing and smiling during the encounter with the subject and does not appear to be in fear or even slightly uncomfortable. There is a sudden influx of other students who appear to come from secreted locations in the lounge area and confront the subject. Miss Brainerd is laughing and smiling during this confrontation. The male victim is berated as a offender. The victim is grabbed and restrained, subjected to large group of mostly males, blocking his access to the exit and preventing his freedom of movement with the intent to cause him to be held against as well. And again, it's like, I don't understand like how they thought this was gonna go. I like go in any direction other than what ended up happening. Because one, if you were 17, why are you on a college campus? Like how do you get access to all of these buildings? How are you allowed on a college campus late at night by yourself, unless of course you are a student? I don't understand. Clearly they are not highly educated people. The victim is able to break free and subsequently flee from the room. The victim is chased by a large group of students upstairs and out the door to his parked motor vehicle. During his attempt to flee, he is struck in the head from behind by a male subject. Victim provided physical description and subsequent confirmation of subject that struck him from behind from a video depicting the assailant leading the pursuit to capture this individual. This subject is known to the Commonwealth, but is a juvenile and will not be named at this time. So the person who struck him in the head is a juvenile. So how are they on the college campus? I have questions. Are they somebody's brother? Are they somebody? I don't know. And I guess we're not going to find out. I mean, maybe we'll find out if it's somebody's relative who's hanging out there, but I just have so many questions. Victim is chased to his parked motor vehicle, where his motor vehicle is surrounded, kicked, and the blankety blank. So there's this little demon child, adult, and there's a link. It's to. So I thought this was interesting. There's a link to Turtle Boy. These are all the charging complaints. Kevin Carroll. So apparently, his mom, Stacey Carroll, didn't want Turtle Boy to get elected for the school committee. So, I mean, you gotta love that. You gotta love when there's a Turtle Boy connection. I mean, anybody who wears a mask like this and smiles through it, you gotta know that you're definitely raising your children incorrectly. You definitely come from a questionable background, and I'm sure your children are equally as questionable. So we got somebody else from Connecticut on the track team. He was charged with kidnapping conspiracy. So I'm curious as to like whose idea was this? Like who is? It seems like Kelsey was leading the charge. I don't know. Then we have a nursing major who attended Notre Dame Academy, where she excelled in field hockey and lacrosse. She was invited to the State House as a junior for Massachusetts Student Government Day, where she met with State Rep Megan Kilcoyne to discuss passing legislation that allows 16-year-olds to vote. She's being charged with one count of each, kidnapping and conspiracy. So again, it doesn't matter, guys, if you are top of your class. If you see, I mean, evil can be take the form of anybody, any person, doesn't matter. And I feel like usually it's kids like these, the popular kids, that end up causing the most trouble. So back to the report down here. So victim is able to escape the motor vehicle. Subsequent interviews of Mr. Smith, Miss Trudeau, and Mr. Coward, really, including Mr. Coward's subsequent confession, confirmed that he is the subject that slammed the victim's head in the door. So yeah, I bet mom's real proud of you now, right? Oh, Stacy. The review of Tinder messages shared by Miss Brainerd and Mr. Moynihan is negative for any indication that the subject was looking for underage girls to meet. There you go. There you have it. The subject believed he was meeting an 18-year-old. Yeah, because that's what her profile said. Like, on a college campus. Like, you can't get more direct than that. When confronted with the fact that the information that she was providing was not factual, but falsification and lies, Miss Brainerd acknowledged that to be true. Mr. Brainerd continued to diminish her responsibility, indicating that she did not know what was going to happen. Yeah, okay. Miss Brainerd continued to allude to her not being a part of this incident, and when confronted about the lies she reported last night and the lies she continued to tell during her recorded interrogation, which I cannot wait to see, because they are of age. So let's see it. Let's blast it. You want to put this poor guy through all of this hell, and you want to post it all over the internet to make you look like some kind of freaking hero, you sicko, you whack job. I want to see you get the riot act. I want to see it all. Let's blast it all over the internet because you are a scum bag. You are trash and deserve the book thrown at you. This is like what evil looks like. It really is. This is calculated. You have something seriously wrong in your brain to do something like this. Miss Brainerd was asked again where the information about an underage girl came from. She could not answer, stating she did not know. Yeah, okay. Miss Brainerd confirmed again that her Tinder account indicates she's 18. Through subsequent interrogations, it's determined that a small subset of the larger group conspired with each other to lure the victim to the property and solicited assistance in catching a predator via group text. They're group texts, kids. Like, that's the wonderful thing about the internet and technology, is that nothing is really deleted, Jen McCabe. Nothing goes away. It will always bite you in the butt. Subsequent interrogation and interview identified the primary actors in the inveigling of the victim. That's a fun word. The goal of the Tinder invite was to simulate the TikTok fad of luring a predator to a location and subsequently. Why is that a fad? Just play some beer pong. I don't know. Do a crossword, and literally anything but that. Easton Randall reported that the whole incident started out on Tinder with messages being sent back and forth between Kelsey and Mr. Moynihan. He reported intimate things were said, racy things were said between the two. He was asked who was with him at the time, and he reported that he was sitting with Kelsey, Bella, Juvenile, Smitty, Kevin, and Ben when the idea of catch a predator came to mind. He reported that it was like the Chris Hansen videos where you catch a predator and either call police or kick their behind. 1, these kids are like way too young to know what catch a predator is. And there's a reason why that show is no longer being aired, because it's not really ethical. It's not really the best representation of how situations like that should be handled. It led to I think a plethora of different lawsuits. In one instance, one of the people who was caught, one of the predators who was caught, ended up unaliving himself. And it's television. It's scripted for a reason. Mr. Randall reported that the catch a predator is a big thing on TikTok currently, but that this got out of hand and went bad. Like, what other way would it go? I don't understand. Mr. Randall reported that they all made suggestions and agreed to what information was texted to Mr. Moynihan, and that the others joined the conspiracy knowing of the unlawful plan and intending to help carry it out. Mr. Randall reported that the following people were part of the core group that lured the subject to campus. This core group continued contact with Mr. Moynihan and conspired with each other to deceitfully lure Moynihan to campus, falsely labeled him as a predator, and rallied other students to assist in the catching and confining of this contrived predator. The group chat referenced as the source of contact to gather the people into the lounge area is an alumni hall 3rd floor group chat consisting of all males who reside on the 3rd floor. Mr. Randall was asked about the alumni 3rd floor group chat and acknowledges its existence and reported that he used it to text some guys stating, like, you have to come down here. We're catching a predator. I'm absolutely floored at how dumb people can be. How many times were you dropped on your head as a child? I need to know. And who are your parents? I can only imagine. Are they Chris Alberts? Probably, right? They have to be some kind of Albert spawn. Mr. Randall reports that Smitty was texting with some guy and put underage in his text, and a mass of people came down after that. This core, identified below, conspired to fabricate a false narrative based on incorrect, incomplete, and deceitful information that was accepted as true by the student population of Alumni Hall and resulted in the subsequent kidnapping, physical assault, battery, and character assassination of Mr. Moynihan. I mean, yeah, it's like this is literally the worst thing that you could accuse somebody of being, period, end of story. Worse than being accused of being an unaliver is to be called a PDF file. And not for nothing, you're also wasting police resources. And you know how precious police resources are to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. A core group of conspirators identified by full name, yada yada. So those are the list of douche canoes, right? Mr. Randall reported that it was the fabrication of the Predator allegation, as reported on the group chat thread, that provoked a rabid response from the students, resulting in the unauthorized confinement of the victim. What do you think would happen? You say something like that, it's going to draw attention. And the subsequent physical assault and batteries, the resulting action was in direct response to this deceitful group's texting with Mr. Moynihan and the alumni third floor. It is subsequently confirmed through interviews and interrogation that this primary group of individuals that conspired to lure this subject on campus to be caught by a group of people compelled to catch a predator under false pretense. The primary group of conspirators above reportedly exchanged ideas of what to text the subject in order to lead him onto campus. Yeah, it seems like the police made it clear that Moynihan is the victim. He's not a predator. He did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. The subject is not in any way designated a predator, nor was his Tinder responses in violation of any MGL, the fabrication of the predator on campus report by Brainerd, Randall, Smitty, Trudeau, Carroll, and the juvenile male subject continued into the interviews and interrogation. Mr. Smith and Miss Trudeau denied involvement, deflected responsibility, and lied about their involvement. Again, I mean, if it's all being recorded, I don't know what you think is gonna, and it's on your phones. How dumb are you? Miss Trudeau defected responsibility onto the guys, forcing Miss Brainerd to go out and get this guy, and that she was only concerned for Miss Brainerd's safety from the stranger coming onto campus. It was reported that Miss Brainerd's reporting of the incident and the person that helped were fully aware of what was taking place and were willing participants who were present for the duration of the incident from its inception and planning to its conclusion. The information provided to responding officers was intentionally misleading to diminish their collective culpability. When Red's Life personnel became aware of the incident and the subject complained to the police. That sounds like a guilty man, right? The collective conspiracy and actions of Miss Brainerd, Mr. Randall, Miss Trudeau, Mr. Smith, Mr. Carroll, and the juvenile male are directly responsible for the intentional and systematic mistreatment of this poor fella. I'm absolutely floored. Absolutely floored that something like this is happening. It could happen. This guy was only 22 years old, and he's serving our country right now. He's literally serving to protect these a-holes' lives. And this is how he's being treated. His grandma just died, and he's looking to just find some sense of happiness in this time of darkness. We talk about true crime. We talk about cases. A lot of people spend their lives and dedicate their lives to creating content around talking about these kinds of things. And I don't think that's wrong. I think that it's totally healthy, and that's a good use of social media, is to spread awareness, is to provide information at a faster rate than ever before and make our community safer. I mean, that's the way that I want to use social media. Not to antagonize people, not to entrap people, innocent people. How dangerous. People who are scrolling through TikTok who think this is funny, grow up. Grow up, get a life, get a job, play some beer pong, be a kid. Be a freaking kid. Enjoy your life. Stop trying to be a hero. Stop trying to hold the spotlight. If you really crave attention that badly, maybe seek it elsewhere. Maybe that's a you problem. Maybe you need to find some help. Go talk to a therapist and see why do I crave the spotlight so badly? Why do I need to do these things and behave poorly? You've now traumatized this poor guy. So congratulations on that. You've ruined your own lives because now everybody's going to see your face and you deserve it. With that being said, if you want to stay up to date with this case, it seems like the next time they will be in court for pretrial will be sometime in March. So I'm really curious to see how this plays out, dive into more of the evidence, I'm sure, as more unfolds. I'll be talking about it here, but I will link that article from Turtle Boy and the Boston 25 clip as well in my description box below. So, with that being said, if you enjoyed today's content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell so you do not miss the next update from me, and make sure you hit the like button because that tells the YouTube algorithm that this is newsworthy news, and it is. I mean, my God, talk about being newsworthy news. Don't do this, kids. Just don't. I don't understand when it became okay to incite violence and to take the law into your own hands. If you want to take the law into your hands, become a police officer. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.